Human beings have built amazing things. We built skyscrapers and cell phones and airplanes, but there are also a lot of really amazing structures and processes that exist in nature. For example, the means by which a tree is able to pull water from the soil all the way to the top of the tree, even trees that are 100 feet tall. So there's an area between human design and naturally occurring structures where the two integrate, and it's called biomimicry. Biomimicry is basically when people look at naturally occurring structures and processes and design their own structures and processes and devices based on those naturally occurring ones. This has produced some really incredible results. Today I'm going to talk about 4 different advancements in biomimicry that have been published in the past 2 years. Number 1, drone wings based on butterflies. Scientists, specifically 2 biologists at Lund University in Sweden, Christopher Johansson and Per Henningsen, have studied the way that butterfly wings work. And when butterflies' wings come together, they sort of do a clapping motion. These biologists were able to discover that the wings weren't just clapping together flat, they were actually cupping. The wings are rather flexible. When they tested this on drones in the lab, they found that flexible drone wings were 28% more efficient and generated 22% more force than their rigid counterparts. So cupping, like a butterfly, works better than just clapping flat, as they had been doing before. They're hoping to apply this to create drones that are better at flying and swimming. Number 2. Cameras based on crab eyes. Current cameras are sort of roughly based on the human eye. They have an aperture that opens and closes like our pupil, a lens cover, and so on. But what if we could make cameras that were better than the human eye? This is what researchers at MIT, the Gwangju Institute of Technology, and the National University in South Korea are trying to do by designing cameras that are based not on the human eye, but on the eye of the fiddler crab. Fiddler crabs, like many insects, have what are called compound eyes, which means that rather than seeing about 180 degrees like humans do, they can see almost 360 degrees. Fiddler crabs can also see very well above and below water. By building a camera that works the same way that their eyes work, we would have a better camera for use in drones that go above and below water, and also for self-driving cars, which can, at the moment, become kind of unreliable in rain. This is certainly something that, with some improvements, we could see coming into drones and self-driving cars and creating better cameras for those purposes. Number 3, building materials that are based on bones. Lots of bones like bird bones, bamboo, and ocean sponges have really unique geometries that allow them to be relatively strong without very much material. And so there's a company that's based in the US called Metavoxel that's looking at those structural geometries and mimicking it in building materials so that they can create building materials that are cheap because they don't use that much material, but still strong and efficient. Number 4, robots based on centipedes. If you've ever seen a centipede, you'll notice that they can run very, very quickly, even over all kinds of things like your cabinet or stairs, or if you're very unfortunate, your foot. Daniel Goldman and his students identified a number of factors that allow centipedes to move as efficiently as they do. These include things like their length, their flexibility. They also adjust their run. They move their legs differently if they have to go up certain gradations. So all of these things combine to make the centipede really efficient and moving really quickly. How would this help people in any way? Goldman and his team plan to team up with Philip Benfey at Duke University to create an agricultural robot, and this robot would be sort of similar to centipedes in general structure and use a lot of the things that the team found about how centipedes move so that they could be helpful in an agricultural setting. Ideally, they'd like to integrate this robot with AI to create a robot that's functional on, for example, a farm that's able to do things like weeding. So there you have it, 4 advances in biomimicry, and I would challenge you to, as you're going about your day, try to observe plants or animals or other naturally occurring things and see what's working for them.